If you want to get out from, like, if you want to break through, if you want to go from this level to that level, you can't be like, okay, I'm just gonna dip my toes in the water. I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna see it. I'm just gonna play around. I'm just gonna do. That's typical. That's average, man.
What's the journey, man? What's the journey? How can you replicate it? How can you apply some of those principles and ideas?
The number one thing that I can sincerely say that absolutely changed everything, I worked on myself first, period.
So here's the formula. Learn something new, and then do it and implement it.
Against all odds, right? Against, everything, they persevered.
I didn't have to be that smart guy that's gonna go out and create all this tech stuff.
I had found all of these other hidden loopholes within the eBay system, like alternative ways to make money on eBay.
And they did it in this industry. They did it in online marketing. Hey everybody, Vic Strisius here, and welcome to The Journey. I'm with the one and only Forbes Riley on this one. All right.
I want to wait. Welcome.
And this is a special episode, you guys, because I am here in St. Pete, Florida, here at the Forbes Riley Studios. Beautiful place you got here,
Thank
Forbes.
you.
Amazing, just decorations, everything. I'm very impressed.
And I would imagine that you're hard to impress.
But you know what? I wouldn't expect anything different.
Thank you.
Because we'll get to your story here in just a minute. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to shoot a video, right? An episode here while with Forbes, and capture this on camera because, well, A, you're super busy. B, we don't have many opportunities like this to get together, and C, you have a wealth of knowledge that you can share with fellow entrepreneurs, fellow people, business owners, and people who are trying to build something on the internet. So I wanted to capture and hopefully get as many of the nuggets from you as possible. I know we can be here probably talking all day.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do a course on this.
But let's see, let's see what we can do here. So you guys, here's the agenda. What we do with the journey is very, very simple. We have one outcome here. That is, how does somebody go from beginning? How does somebody go with just being nobody in the space, just starting out, maybe insecure deep down, right? Not having the skills, not having the ability or the knowledge or anything to be successful, and then breaking through and become a mega success story, right? An inspiration to millions of people. How do you do that? What's the secrets? What are the breakthroughs? And so, Forbes, I want to know a little bit about you. I know where you are now. TV personality, actress. Selling millions and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stuff on TV and all over the crazy things that you're doing. You got this beautiful studio here. Has it always been like that for you?
Yeah, I woke up super rich, super gorgeous, and it was completely easy. And thank you so much for watching.
And you took, and there was this one pill that you took that just turned you around, right?
I saw the Matrix. Right. You know what's great?
What's your story?
My daughter, we started going to seminars. She said, "Mom, how come everyone who gets up and speaks has these terrible stories?" Yeah. I said, "Because if you had it easy, you'd have nothing to talk about. You'd have nothing to overcome." Yeah. And so I have a couple of theories. One is that you're the sum of the obstacles you overcame.
You're the sum of the obstacles that you overcame.
So what happens is the bigger the issues, if you're still here and you choose to make that life doesn't happen to you, but it happens for you, you take all the horrible things that we've had, and apparently we've all had horrible things. I was teaching yesterday and somebody said, "Oh, my story isn't as bad as yours." Really? We're going to compare? Yeah, one guy had his friend blow up in a war in front of him, and the other was raped by her dad. I'm sorry, which one is? Don't do that. Yeah. I don't care if you stubbed your toe, it's your story and your pain, and I think most of us have that. So my story personally is that I grew up on Long Island, grew up talking like this. I noticed you have like a little accent too, right?
Yeah.
I actually was made fun of, so I got rid of mine. And I had loving parents.
Where were you born?
I was born in Brooklyn, but what we just discovered is that we are brothers and sisters from another mother. I'm the same. I'm Ukrainian.
Yeah. So I just found that out.
I know. My grandparents are from Kiev and Odessa, and because for the longest time, people were like, "What are you? It's like Italian?" I'm like, "No, I think I'm Russian." But you're not Russian. You're Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Which I'm very proud of, by the way.
We're driven.
I think we are, especially as women. We're kind of strong. I mean, is that everybody in the Ukraine? Are they a hardy people?
Well, no. I think it's just like everywhere. I mean, if you have a reason to be driven, I don't know. I think maybe it's DNA or something.
Well, but I also think when you come from a
we'll talk about
city.
it. I want to address this because the energy and just the drive you have towards what you do is insane.
Thank you.
So I want to see,
okay, it's a couple of things. One, I know that life's not going to last forever. I was a very ugly little girl. Let's start there. I was 8, and you don't need to feel sorry, "Oh, I can't see that," and people do that all the time. It's irrelevant whether you think I was ugly. I did, and I've got pictures to show it. I was 8 years old, and I got hit in the face with a baseball bat, and my nose grew out. It was like I had this odd broken nose. I used to suck my thumb. I had braces. I had teeth that stuck out in 4 different directions. I wore braces for 8 years. Now you have kids, right?
Yep.
Imagine you put your daughter in braces at 8 years old, full set of railroad tracks, and a tongue twister. So for years I talked like this, and I had to go to speech therapy. I had a thing in my mouth, and I had rubber bands, and I had a headset, and I had frizzy hair, and I was a little overweight because fast food had come out. My mom, God bless her, was always 260 pounds, so we ate McDonald's. McDonald's had just come out when I was a kid. McDonald's, Arby's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then Monday through Thursday was like TV dinners. Really? We didn't stand a chance. And I loved to dance, so now I was this heavy, chunky, ugly dancer. Okay, then to make it more interesting, my dad is an inventor. He makes a living as a printer, but he invented these weird things, and we should actually stick in some pictures. One of the things that he created with a half a garbage can, a lawnmower engine, and paper mache was my very own little go-kart, like a Batmobile. Really? He also had this thing that he put over our sink in the bathroom where you could crawl up into this 4-foot deep lazy Susan.
Yeah.
And as a kid, like Harry Potter, I could physically crawl over the sink in my bathroom and disappear into my medicine cabinet. Try explaining that to the kids in first grade. They're like, "You're a dork." And I'm like, okay. And then I was ugly, and I was really smart. And even if I wasn't smart, and this is what I've come to understand, my dad, God love him, he didn't graduate college, but he was this engineer, okay? So he used to teach us, by the time I got to first grade, I could do long division. Your kids probably in 5th grade don't know how to do long division, okay? So I showed up at school, and all of a sudden, I was labeled a genius. But I knew that I wasn't. There were actually a couple of geniuses in my class, really brainiac, smart kids, and here I am trying to keep up because I didn't want anyone to know that I was a fake. I didn't want to embarrass my family. And so I outworked everybody. And I didn't come to this, by the way. I'm in my 50s now. I didn't know all this until recently. I worked so hard. I graduated high school a year early. I graduated college with not 1, but 2 degrees in almost half the time, in 3 years with 2 degrees. I was so dedicated to working. Now, when you do that, you don't have a whole lot of fun. But let's backtrack. So now I'm 14. And my dad, one day, it's in June, we're sitting at the table, my mom and my sister would get a phone call, "Your dad's in a horrible accident. He has slipped and he's cut off the whole front of his hand in a printing press." And for the next 3 years, he would spend in the hospital 15 different operations. They would graft all parts of his body to rebuild his fingers, and it destroyed my entire family. We had no money, none. We didn't lose our house because my parents had a savings, but it ate through all of that. And you can imagine, as the man in the house, my dad lost his self-esteem. And all I know is I'm a 15-year-old kid, you know? And every day I don't go to baseball games or football games. I do some theater, but I see my dad in the hospital. And I love this man very much. And then when he got okay, I'm like 15, and they said, "We have no money for college. We're completely broke." It's like, oh, okay. But his doctor said, "Look, I will fix your daughter's nose for free." So they fixed my nose, got kind of cute. And my mom said, "Well, there's this pageant you could enter that's got a scholarship for school." And I'm like, "Mom." She's like, "No, don't worry. It's not a beauty pageant." Okay, Mom, it's a written test, a talent, and a personality. And I had all those things, and for 3 weeks on and off I would audition, but something happened. I'm 16 years old, I'm standing at the door, and there's 350 girls in there, and it's a written test is the first thing, and I'm damn smart, right? I got that. And I got my dad right there, and I said, "You know what? One of these girls is gonna be on TV with Bob Hope in a national pageant, and it's gonna be me." I have no right to say that. And it's only a good story because it ended up being me.
So, like, what was that about? What was going on through your head that made you say that?
It is, for entrepreneurs, it was my why. I'm looking at my dad. Did you love your parents?
Of course.
Yeah, well, not everybody does. I love this man, and I'm going to start to cry. He used to take me flying. I flew airplanes with my dad. I was his best friend. And he's a magician. I learned to do magic tricks. And to see this man hurt, you can make me cry, darn it. Because I know it's challenging to really go back and think about this, but I just wanted it to be okay for him. And I'm a kid. How do you make it okay for your parents? These 2 people would do anything for me, and they're hurting all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got there. I got on television. And then the irony is, it was the worst week of my entire life. I am Jewish, and I'm in the middle of America in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where there's no Jews. In 1976, they thought Jews were people who had really big noses and were bankers. And y'all had the funniest accent I ever heard. I'm like, "What you talking about? I have an accent." And it was a horrible, confusing week for me. I left there, I changed my voice. I literally used to watch television and said, how do normal people talk? Went off to college, and then something happened. I was gonna be a lawyer. That's what my parents paid money to go to college. And while I was there, one person in one moment changed the next part of my life. So I'd auditioned for plays. I always wanted, see, when I was little, there was no DVRs, and I didn't have a lot of friends, very, very awkward, ugly little girl. I spent all my time watching TV. Or movies, like all my time. Like I can tell you every trivia thing from F Troop, Man from U.N.C.L.E., I Dream of Jeannie, Brady Bunch. No one ever heard of me. My daughter says, "Mom, hey, Jeff, sleepovers?" I'm like, I didn't really have friends.
So you weren't really social?
Really social? I didn't exist. Everybody was prettier or better than I was. I would go home from school, I studied, I watched TV. I had no friends.
So by this time you're what, 14, 15?
Yeah, and it was weird. And then I got into this pageant, and then I went off to college, and again, kind of weirdly lonely. I didn't understand what friends were for. It doesn't matter. You know, if you're kind of a quirky person, I've discovered actually what I am as an introvert. I'm what's called an extroverted introvert. But nobody knew that. Nobody diagnosed ADD back then either. So I just took my little, it was uncomfortable around people. I didn't want to just chit chat about stuff. And then all the girls were like, oh, look at the boys. And it's like, why are you wasting time with that? I was like a marketer. And I look at my daughter, by the way, who's now this entrepreneur. She's written a book. She's on stage. She's 14. Nobody had an outlet for me when I was 14 to do that. She's really weird compared to all the other kids. She's making money. She's having fun. She's hanging out with adults. That was me, but trust me, it was not attractive 40 years ago. So anyway, I got to college, and I'd always auditioned for plays. In my heart, I was like, wouldn't it be fun to disappear and become somebody beautiful, like an Audrey Hepburn or a Katharine Hepburn? And so I'd audition, and I always got, you ever been to play in school?
Yeah.
So they had like a call sheet. I was always at the very bottom where it said townsperson number 3. I never had a name. I was always the extra. And senior year, I auditioned for Shakespeare. The biggest female role that he had was Rosalind. And I auditioned, and I'm looking for the name townsperson number 3. And I didn't get anything. I'm like, I didn't even make like a townsperson? Then I get to the very top, and there's my name at the lead role. And it was like, I actually called the professor, and I said, okay, help me understand this, because
You thought it was a mistake?
Not a mistake, but I don't want to do it. I can't even, I'm not that good. And why would you do this now? Blah, 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 and all this is in my head. And you want to hear something crazy? I'm talking to David, Professor Richmond. I said, why did you choose me? And he said, you're one of the best communicators. You have more. He said all these amazing things. It's a little embarrassing. He went down a whole long list. And you want to know what was different about this experience? When he looked at me, Professor David Richmond was 100% legally blind.
Oh, wow.
He never saw any of the things that held me back. He didn't see my face or my hair or that I was 10 pounds overweight or anything. He only saw what was inside of me. And that was enough for me to say, I'm not going to be a lawyer. My parents were so upset. I moved to New York City. I'm going to be an actress. And I got the lead in my very first movie.
That was your first breakthrough.
My first audition, called Splatter University. It's a horror film. If you look it up, it's all over YouTube. It's got its own cult following, and I have the lead in the movie. And I'm a little bit overweight, but I'm good enough in the movie. I have an entire career based on the fact that one guy was the first one to look at me and not see my face, but see my heart.
So how important is that for people to, because that changed you forever?
Oh, absolutely.
So would you attribute, I mean, your current personality to that event? Would you say, or was that something?
I would attribute my personality to every event.
Right.
Because that was day one, a long time ago. I can go down the list, and I do, by the way, I teach this.
Yeah.
I coach my classes that I have, and they're business, because I have a thing about health, wealth, and happiness. Now, and I've got some massive achievements that I don't even realize. I mean, I help, ever watch the X Games? I helped create the X Games with Stuart Scott on ESPN. I hosted the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, biggest comedy club, for 3 years. I introduced the concept of doing fitness on television with Body by Jake. We sold the network for $500 million. I've done 150 infomercials. I could sit here and tell you all of these accomplishments, and I also go, damn, look at all the things that she did. The problem is I was so busy doing, I don't know if I enjoyed a lot of it, because I just wanted to be an actress. Yeah. And here's the irony of life. And I'll tell you what, you guys have a dream, something you want to do, and a door slams, like you want to be a professional athlete and you break your leg, probably the best thing that ever happened to you. You are the sum of the obstacles you overcome. You're somebody whose father, beat you or whatever it was, and you're this amazing man, and you go, man, I'm going to blame you for being a horrible dad, but thank you because I'm who I am. So every little thing that is because I struggled with my weight, I'm in the National Fitness Hall of Fame. I redefine the word diet. Ask me what diet means.
What does it mean?
Well, what do you think it means? Dad, what do you think it means? Come on.
You limit yourself on the stuff that you consume.
You limit yourself. Now, guys, do you hear that? How frustrating. Every day you go, oh, there's a diet. That means I limit. Why do I want to go on a diet if I have to limit myself? And as soon as I go off a diet, I'm a cheater.
Right, that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of
It's the first thing that comes to, you know what comes to my mind? Frustration, starvation, deprivation. I'm a loser. I've been on every diet, and I must be a terrible person because I can't succeed. You know what? You're not a terrible person. Redefine the word diet. D-I-E-T. Decisions I eat today.
Right.
But that's all it is.
Right.
I have a whole book and series about this.
Just change your choices. Make different decisions.
Make different. And by the way, here's what I do as well. I'm going to say there's no such thing as willpower. Do you agree?
Interesting.
Well, if there's no such thing as willpower, then you can't fail, right?
Right.
So watch this. If I give you accountability, if I give you a guy who's super fit, like on the internet, like a bodybuilder, and I show you what he eats every day. And I give you a guy who's 300 pounds overweight, and I show you what he eats every day. And I said, every day, all I want you to do is to email us what you eat every day. I'm not even going to give you the diet.
Right.
You start to look every day what those two people eat. And you, as a very smart person, go, well, if I want to be fat, I guess I should eat Cheerios at midnight and chocolate cake, because that's what this guy over here eats chicken 6 times a day. Huh. Now it's not a diet, it's your decision. It's your going, I want to look like that guy. Maybe I'll do that.
So when you think about that concept, man, how easy is it to apply these principles to pretty much every area of your life, including business?
It's genius.
Right.
And by the way, so I'm sharing with you a lifetime of experience, and I love to put this in, like, this is why we teach classes. This is why we have courses.
So look, so a lot of people watching this, right? You guys watching this, you know, you might be in the process of building your business, right? I can't tell you how many people I see that are trying to build a business, right? But they cannot let go of like complaining. Simple thing is like complaining. Simple thing of like, you know, like confessing their problems, or like voicing their problems like anybody cares.
Yeah.
Right? Like as if it's something that's going to take them to the next level, right? And then they're like, how come I'm failing? And so they're just spinning in that circle.
And you will.
Which is crazy.
Well, no, it's not crazy. And at some point, I'm gonna, if you guys don't mind, can I turn the tables and do a journey interview on you? Because I want to hear. I don't want to know how you're so positive and where you. And trust me, you're one of the exceptions. It's why you're who you are.
Well, I want to know your stuff first.
But most people will give you their limiting beliefs up front. Right. I can't do this.
Exactly.
Okay, so the first thing is, I studied hypnosis. I've studied NLP. You know what happens with the word can't? You have a conscious. You and I are talking. We go to sleep. Our subconscious keeps us breathing and digesting. Right. Well, your subconscious has no sense of humor.
Right.
So if I tell you you can't do it, guess what? You can't. And you know how I know this? Because remember a time when you couldn't run, nobody could run the 4-minute mile. It was impossible. And we all believed. Those are important words. By the way, in the word believe is the word lie, right in the middle, L-I-E. It's a belief. I don't know if your God's better than my God. You believe it, I believe it. Who cares? It's all lies. So relative. You happen to believe it. Right. Okay? So one day, somebody broke the 4-minute mile, and in that week, 11 more people broke it. Right. What changed the world in physics? No, they believed they could do something different. So if somebody says to me they can't do it, I won't work with you. If that's your mentality, I can't be around you. So you can come through one of my workshops, you can come to one of my coachings. You've got to get some of that stuff out, and I'll tell you what, in my personality coaching, this thing, it's a one-time visit. If I'll fix you, but I'll take care of that in 1 hour, and then you move on. But I will tell you, if you keep hitting against the same wall, if you keep dating and you're in your 4th marriage, and I've got people like that, it happened a long time ago. You made decisions. In fact, one of the things that's really weird is, do you ever feel like your 4-year-old is driving your bus?
Sometimes.
Now, you have kids who are 4 years old at one point, right?
Yeah.
Would you let them drive your car?
No.
Why?
They're not capable.
They're nuts. The 4-year-olds are like, I don't know, I could drive to the moon and I put stuff on my face. And then if you say to a 4-year-old, and listen to this if you're a parent, God, you're so clumsy. Ask an adult something, they'll tell you, oh, I'm so clumsy. That's probably something they heard when they were little, and they've kept that belief going. How valuable would it be to take out that slide in their life and change that? Yeah. So what I see in people right now is a whole lot of pain, a whole lot of limiting beliefs. We all need to make money, so we start a business. We jump into, I'm going to do a store, I'm going to do a network marketing. And then as soon as it doesn't work, that's a terrible product, isn't it? No, it's not. The products are all good. It's not them, it's you.
Because you got people that are crushing it, and you got people that are failing, doing the same thing.
What's the difference, do you think?
Right. It's a person.
No, it's their belief.
Right.
I believe I can do it. And I'll tell you what.
Well, your belief leads to certain actions, to certain feelings, and then feelings lead to actions, and then if you do the actions long enough, it forms a habit, right? And then your habits is what make who you are.
Right, and I'm sure you hear this all the time. Does somebody say, "Oh, this is so hard"? Well, then it's so hard.
Right.
Could you walk in and say, "Oh, you know, this is a piece of cake. All I have to do is follow what Vic said. If I follow the rules, you know, he laid out a system. Most of us don't even want to follow the system. Find a system that works and follow it." So one of the keys is you got to get out of your own way. And I don't think that most people can do it on their own. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, Tom Brady, really good at what he does. You know what he has? He's a coach. A coach who probably makes less money than he does, but somebody who can see the entire game. So somebody that's that good, 4-time Super Bowl winner, still has a coach. You can't see your own game. And this is also, and I think I'm so excited because I now understand what's kept me from mega stardom. Because I'm not Oprah yet, but I do have a philosophy. If Trump is president, Forbes can be Oprah. It's my new philosophy. Thank you, Donald. But this is why you want to coach. And I didn't know this until recently. I didn't ask for help. I have some serious pitfalls. I didn't ask for help because I was afraid if I came to you that you would find out that I really was a fake. I have all these successes, but I was still afraid that that little girl who was trying so hard and knew she wasn't a genius, Didn't want to get embarrassed. That kept me from asking, would you help me? You know what changed is that you're in my studio. I now ask for help all the time. I'm so much more vulnerable. I'm so far from perfect. But now I'm okay to share that because my imperfection and my willing to talk about it has helped so many people change their lives. And then I've come up with all of these theories about leap and the net will appear. You walked into my studio today, about 3 or 4 hours ago, had no idea what to do or what we were going to do, right? You're going to leave here with video footage. You interviewed my daughter. You had a testimonial show up. We're going to get a book out of this. A course is going to build my life. All of that because what? You just took a leap of faith, said, I'm going to just show up. And the more you exercise that muscle, the more you do. So I love all of those theories. But you also, number 5 on the list of nuggets you're going to leave with, you are the sum of the 5 people closest to you. You know what's cool about you? How old are your kids?
11 to 1.
So you know what about the 2 ones and all the little ones? They have imagination. See, my 5 people for the last 14 years, 2 of them have been on, they're 14 and under. So we dream. We go to Chuck E. Cheese. We go to roller coasters. We play. If you're sitting around and your mom's like, oh, honey, I don't think that you're ever going to be able to do it.
And kids have no limit to their imagination.
Yeah, but your mom does. She nags you. Your dad does. Your wife, oh, really, you're going to be an entrepreneur? Really, that doesn't work for anybody. No, that's not true. Surround yourself with people who make millions. You and I think differently than most people. Be in our company. And then I hang out with billionaires. Baby, I got to tell you. You know what's different between you and a billionaire, besides one or maybe 1 0, maybe half a zero, is that they're just influencing more people.
Yeah.
They just play in a bigger scale. And by the way, I don't know that I want to be that visible. I actually want to shut down and go play with my kids because that has kept me grounded. But I up the people around me.
So in other words, this lifestyle, this like what you want to do, your dream, it's not too far out. I mean, if you really just scale back and just simplify things, you just really look at like this big picture and just say, okay, you know, what do I need? Like, what's my step? And then second step, and then third step, and then I mean, it's not as complicated as people make it to be.
Well,
right?
actually, let me erase all of that. Can I start with? Most of the people that you deal and coach with, if you gave them $1 million, like a lottery winner, would they be any happier?
They might be happier for a little bit, maybe, but I think it's again goes back to the habits.
See, the answer is you wouldn't be any happier. And you know what proves that? Every lottery winner, almost every lottery winner, ends up just
broke.
Yeah.
Right.
So I do this exercise called What Do You Want? And it's a good question for you guys. What do you want? Forget that you want a business, you want a store, because I don't know that you want all those things. Most people say the first thing, I want financial freedom. And you know what I say to them? Go live in a box under a freeway. It's completely financially free. You don't have to pay bills. There's no, but that's what you asked for.
That's true, that's true.
But no, I want the big house and I want the money and I want to travel. I had someone say to me, I want $10 million so I can travel the world. They get 21. I got the book Europe on $20 a day. I had a Walkman. Are you old enough to know what a Walkman is?
Yeah.
I had two little tapes with me. One was Burt Bacharach, who I can't listen to anymore ever. And the other was, I don't know, like Donny Osmond or something really trashy. And a camera and a backpack on my own. And I said to my parents, see this book? I'm going to tear out every page. I'm going to see the city, tear out the page, and come home when I have the cover. Well, first of all, what 20-year-old does that on her own? And in a day where there's no internet, my parents didn't know where I was, I had a vision of doing this. I had no rules, I just believed that I could do it, and then I did. Most people don't understand that they can just do that. They're so full of what they can't do. But if you don't get out of your own way and understand that that's probably the biggest difference, you don't go anywhere. So it wasn't about money. I basically, in fact, I had $2,000 in my pocket. Don't tell anybody, I forged my Eurail pass 3 times. I slept outside of a train station.
Confessions.
Oh my God, I hope that the statute of limits says. I didn't have $10 million to travel. I had $2,000. I didn't even have a return airline ticket. And I didn't know if there were mayonnaise that I could eat or not. But I didn't wait till I had the $10 million.
Right.
Don't wait. What are you waiting for? My life is better when I have money in the bank. Your life needs to be good right now.
So get out of your way. Get out of your own way, right? Yeah. Big takeaway. It sounds so simple, man. But if people just take self-inventory, right? And just
actually, you know what? Hang on a second. Can I give you, wait. Get out of your own way. You did this on your own, didn't you? You figured this out on your own, who you are?
Well, no, I had mentors.
Did you have mentors?
I have mentors, yeah. So I was going to say, get out of your way is the first decision. Number
and
2 is decide what people you're going to surround yourself with.
If you can't get out of your own way, though, do what Vic did. Find a mentor. Who was one of your mentors?
I learned from Bob Proctor a lot. Les Brown, you know, that inspiration that you can do anything you want. There's no limits. Mm-hmm. You know, Bob Proctor helped me change the paradigm. Like, you know, he kept talking about, like, dude, if, you know, look at the light, right? Somebody had to envision it. Look at the table, look at the chair, look at this camera, look at like anything. It was an idea somebody's had, And so that repetition of this, you know what, if somebody just had an imagination and they made it a reality, they're just like you.
You know how blessed I am? If you guys go to YouTube and you type in Bob Proctor and Spin Gym, I have Bob Proctor, who had a heart attack, used my product to recover.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
But I want you to hear what you did. See, what Vic did was very smart. I'm 10 years older than you. No, 20 years older than you. See, back then, there was no internet. There was no YouTube. If you want to listen to a Bob Proctor now or an inspirational video, you just type it in and it's free. I didn't have that. So you have to hear it from somebody else. Nowadays, you want to listen to a Zig Ziglar. You can hear him speak, actually, or a Tony Robbins, or a Forbes Riley. I do a lot of motivational things. But back then, there was nobody. So I'm going to ask you to don't wait like I did. I wasted probably 20 years of my life, okay? I'm going to shortcut this for you. Go to a seminar. Go invest a little money, not a lot, in a coach, in a class. What changed my life for real at 31 years old was I happened on a seminar that's not taught anymore. 5 days, and then I did the advanced, and I made the investment. And here, I taught this yesterday for the first time. The first seminar, back then it was $400. And I had a huge money issue because I had none, so I held on to it, like this, right? And somebody said, you really should go to this. My friends at parties, like, they don't like you. I'm like, what do I care? He said, it's $400. I'm like, oh no. You know what he did? He actually paid for me to go. My limiting belief back then was, oh yeah, he probably just wants to go to bed with me. No, I've never seen the guy since. He just wanted me to be better. And then when I did the $400 one, which was amazing, there were like 150 people in the room, so unbelievable. Then there was the advanced one. And you want to hear what happened to me then? Advanced was $900. And my limiting belief said, oh yeah, now it's just a scam. They just want my money. And my friend said, but didn't you get value? I said, yeah, but they just want to sell you. He's like, what's wrong with you? So he said, all right, I'm not going to give you this one. He said, but I'll make you a deal. I'll give you a loan. You tell me the terms. And I said, okay, 9 months, $100, no interest. Saturday night of that event, Vic, is one of the 5 greatest nights of my life. Getting married, having kids. Saturday night of that event, I was 31 years old. I will never forget the lessons that I learned that night. I will do that on a much more intimate videotape if you want, but changed my life forever. So if I hadn't chosen to invest in myself and take a risk and show up, I wouldn't be here.
Right. Wow. Again, sounds so simple, but yet so many people are just like stumbling over the simple idea.
So what do you tell them?
Right.
What do you tell people?
It's reinforcing the idea of, you know what, get yourself around people who will make you think different. I mean, that was a big thing for me. The biggest thing for me was just, because a lot of times you don't know what you don't know, right? Until you have somebody that can come into your life and like open your eyes and say, hey man, look at this, and try it out. And if you're open-minded enough to try it something different, you know, Bob Proctor used to say, look, if your way is not working, try ours, right?
Do you hear this? And then if you don't know who Les Brown is, I have an infomercial with Les Brown coming out. Les was one of the first men that I met. His whole thing is, you gotta be hungry. You gotta want it. You gotta know that you're hungry. Man, this guy gets on stage and he's got this passion. One of the things you realize, if you just show up with passion, life changes. If I sat here and said, hi Vic, thank you very much. Look at my posture, first of all. You figure out your posture. If you don't know your posture, you get yourself a spin gym so you activate your muscles. By the way, I'll have you hold on that one. So that your body feels good. So here's one of my mottos that I actually live by. Everybody needs this. Health, wealth, and happiness. So people say to me, well, why do you do a spin gym, Forbes, at a business meeting? You know why? Because I'm sitting in a seminar for 8 hours, and you got to keep your metabolism moving.
Spin gym on a video camera during the interview.
Why not? I'll do it during, how many conference calls have you sat there? How many 8-hour seminars are you just sitting there eating crap food? But here's the thing, but look at this, health, wealth, and happiness. If you are very, very rich, you're Bill Gates, right? Life is good, it's cracking, you're smart as whatever, 56, dead.
Right.
That sucks.
What's the point, right?
Now, the next thing is if you are very, very fit and you're a bodybuilder and you have no money because you haven't figured it out, you're broke, you're unhappy.
Yeah.
Hey, your health, your wealth, your happiness.
That's exactly what we wanted to do in 4%.
Yes.
8 key areas of life. You got your business, you got your health, you got your finances, you got, everything is important.
By the way, 4% is so darn cool.
Yeah?
Yes, that's why we met. I'm watching this man on a video screen just have all this energy and all this passion. Here's what you do that dragged me to you, is you showed up with a sense of authenticity. A lot of people out there do all kind of things, sell all kind of things, promote all kind of things. But when you hear a Bob Proctor, who I know him, this is his life.
Yeah.
When you hear a Les Brown, when I heard you, I heard that same honesty, that you found a way to help other people make money with this crazy thing called the internet, which is mildly confusing, but once you figure some of it out, you can make money online. So kudos to you. My daughter is in this world. She actually helped me sign up because she's younger, and sometimes younger people could do that internet thing good. And we promoted a person's product on ClickBank. The other night, she made $398 in her sleep at midnight. Her teacher's like, I have no idea how she did it. I said, 4% club.
Nice.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're helping people who, because normally you'd have to go get a job or you have to have a degree. Now you just have to have a drive.
Right.
And the other thing I love that you do is putting the camera over your shoulder. I am so tired of people going, oh, it's easy. Nothing's easy. It's just not easy. And by the way, Tim Ferriss, love you. No such thing as a 4-hour work week. No, there's no 4-hour body. There's no 4-hour.
Well, I said, look at any like huge look at any company that is here today. The Apples, the Googles, the Forbes Riley. You know, I mean anything. I mean, 4%. I mean, and if you try to launch a product and work 4 hours a week, I mean, it's not possible.
Are you up in the middle? But I will share something with you. I'm up in the middle of the night. I love this.
Right.
I am on fire. You want to do something in your life that keeps you up at night, that has you talking and hanging out with people and just exciting them to no end. In fact, McKenna, can you come here for a second? I know I'm going to just drag my daughter in. Something really unique happened.
Impromptu.
Yeah, come here for a second. I just want to say
that's how we roll. There's no script. There's no idea.
Guys,
no bullet points. This is just.
Don't miss being a mom or a dad. You have 6 kids, right?
Yes.
I will tell you, I was very preoccupied up to the age of 42 because I was so driven. I almost forgot to do this. She has a brother, and best thing I ever did. Then something happened. See, I wanted a kid who maybe was going to do theater and be a little dancer and be so cute in pageants. Guess what? What do you do for a living?
Internet marketing.
You do?
She's an entrepreneur.
You make money?
Yes.
And you wrote a book?
In the process.
Every company needs a kid?
And how old are you?
14.
Come in between us.
That's 1-4.
That's 1-4. Can I just ask you a question? Why do you do all this? What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Do you love? I mean, you're making money. Why you know 14? You should be out just playing softball.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm getting ready for the future and thinking one step ahead of everyone else.
Like it's almost like playing is like on a secondary level, like on the, you know what I mean? Like business entrepreneur, like this kind of stuff is like senior to like playing around and just goofing around.
Well, but think about this, because she's seen people suffer. She's seen her mom suffer. Money is a big issue. If you could make money at this age and set yourself up so you can go play and not have to suffer.
Right.
Also, the things I like to do cost money, so.
Ah, there you go.
Can I also say something? Do you have a personal why you do things?
My personal why initially was my family. I wanted to give them the best that I could, you know. Currently, my personal why is when I go to an event and somebody says, hey, Vic, look me in the eye and say, hey, Vic, thank you, because of you and your stuff, my life changed.
Yeah.
That drives me.
So I have a couple of personal whys. You know. This one has a why. And I'm going to say the biggest thing, yes, you should surround yourself and you should educate it. You got to have a reason for doing it. And it's got to be a positive reason for doing it. You can't do it because you hated somebody and you're doing it. Yeah. There's the deeper the why, the deeper the stake in the sand. Yeah. Why are you doing some of what you're doing in terms of money?
Well, the one reason I actually started this was my mom always wanted one of those big diamond rings. You ever see the woman walk in, they have like 20 carat. And she always used to like point them out to me. And I was like, no, one day I'm going to get you one of those rings.
So let me stop for 1 second. You know why I wanted it? So my dad's in the hospital. At 15 years old, my mom is held up at the house at gunpoint by 2 armed guys who stole everything in our home. They took all our fake jewelry. They took all she didn't have a lot of jewelry. Right before my 16th birthday, there was a gold locket that had a teeny diamond chip in it. That was my present. They stole that. We already had no money, and they took everything else that we had. My mom ended up having a fake engagement ring. And so even though I've made money, and I get nervous about jewelry because I get a feeling that it's going to go away. So I'd rather invest in her education, or I'd rather invest in anything else, but it doesn't mean that I still don't want it. And I'm really sad that this happened, but we were on a cruise. And because it feels a little shallow, right? I don't have a lot of material things, that is not what I'm about. But my in-laws are well-to-do and don't think anything of it. My mother-in-law said, oh, I want that. And Grandpa said, oh, I'll take the ring and I'll take the 2 diamond earrings. And it was tens of thousands of dollars, and good for them. And they still buy us, they treat us to nice things. But I'm looking at the ring that I never got, that amazing diamond ring. I don't know what it means. And I would never pay for it. Vic, even if I had $100 million, I wouldn't buy it for myself because it would feel wrong. I know that sounds weird. Well, she witnessed me feeling bad.
So I started this because I said I wanted to get her one of those rings.
It's not really about the thing. It's about the thing behind the thing.
So she can't get herself to do that. And when she was little, she told me that story, and that like broke my heart. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this for you. I was like
so
people's
awesome.
wives, like I'm gonna buy my mother a house or like a car.
Yeah.
That's like,
wow. Congratulations. Wow.
Still getting there.
That's,
Okay, well, go. You gotta get back to school. So,
feels amazing, doesn't it?
yeah, she is amazing. But I'll tell you what, amazing parenting also leads to amazing kids.
Yeah.
And patience and focus and the way you talk to your kids every day.
Yeah.
We'll do. You know what? I don't. Maybe can we do a series, you and I, on food? Because I have a whole theory on how I got my kids. I'm really emotional. Sorry, on how I got them to eat and understand sugar. And I'll give you just one little hint. I love this because I don't like to tell anybody no. You know what no means, by the way? What does no mean to you?
Usually a no can lead to a yes.
I just made it N-O, never-ending opportunity.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a no. You're the wrong person, you're the wrong, yeah.
Right.
So what I said to the kids when they were really little, they're twins, so I only had one opportunity to get it right. When kids are little, you know they get cut and it heals like overnight? Mm-hmm. And I said, guys, here's the deal. There's like little Bob the Builder's inside of you, because they know what that is. And he's got a little light on. He's asleep all day. At night, turns the light on, he's got a little cup. The only thing that makes him go around like a little Pac-Man is how old am I with a Pac-Man? Is you have to put water in the cup. Soda shuts him off. Juice, you just have to have water. So you gotta have a nice big cup of water to make sure he moves. And then he'll stitch you up in the morning and great. But if you feed him sugar, it's like the enemy.
He's gonna die.
Yeah. And then he goes away and guess what happens? One, you get cut, you don't heal, and you kind of get heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
Good visuals, right? I love this. I need this to be in a little whiteboard thing.
So we think in pictures.
Yeah, I'm very visual. But then
Right.
my daughter's looking at this woman who's really, she's like, Mom, all of her guys are sleeping. I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. But I will tell you, they didn't want to eat sugar and candy, not because I said no, but because I gave them really positive. So I've always had these theories, and nowadays with videotapes.
So you give them a context or a picture to work with.
Yeah. Okay, one more, because your kids are really little.
Yeah.
Your wife's going to love me for this. You guys should love me for this. You know when you go down to a grocery store, you see all the candy?
Yeah.
I always heard kids whine, I want that. I didn't have kids to have them whine. So the kids are little, about 3 years old, and I said to them, guys, can you grab me an apple from over there? And McKenna's like, Mom, there's only candy here. And by then they knew that candy was sugar and not good. I said, well, there's no fruit at all. There's no good food. And McKenna's like, she looked at me and said, Mom, I think bad men put that there to trick us. Now watch this about reinforcement. Every time I would check out of the counter with them, I said, guys, yep, bad men put it there to trick us. Every single time. There's no whining in my house. We never have
And it's conditioning.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. The other thing I condition them to do every chance I get is to say, I love you, Mom. We always end every kind of conversation with, they used to kiss each other.
Yeah.
They used to say, I love you to each other, and they would kiss me. These guys are pretty tight, and you know why? Because we trained them to be.
Right.
Don't tell them that. Right. You can't train your wife.
That's some extra nuggets on relationships with your kiddos. Let's talk about business.
Okay.
What are obviously we can be here for all day talking, right? But we're limited for time. What were your biggest breakthroughs in business that allowed you to go from, your first breakthrough, boom, I just made, my first 50K or whatever, and then your next leap, and then your next leap. What were those breakthroughs?
Oh my gosh, we would be here for a while. One was doing infomercials. In the old days, just like the internet is now, in fact, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank and I are writing a book, because he kind of created the infomercial. I did one of the first ones, and I've done more than any other woman in the business. And back then, put something on TV, people, oh yeah, I'll just give you money. And when you structured it the right way, if you can show a magical transformation, there's a spot, this product takes it out like that. And not only do you want to buy one, you want to buy two, and you're going to pay shipping and handling, and you're going to buy and we could sell people literally $500 in one call. That was the old day of TV.
By the way, how long ago were you on TV, or how long have you been on TV for?
First time was 16, when I was in Miss Teenage America pageant. But I've done like 15 different television series, 50 movies, 24 is a TV show.
Yeah.
You can go to YouTube and spend about 18,000 hours watching my stuff.
That paints the picture.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's kind of fun. Just Google my name and take a look, and it's been fun. I mean, everything from the X Games, things I wasn't even, that's another thing. This big thing, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I will take you through a journey, and I do this in my courses. I don't want to, either that or we're going to be here for 8 hours. But how did I, a girl who knows zero about sports, end up being the host with Stuart Scott of the original X Games?
Well, that was my next question. That was actually a follow-up question I was going to ask you, because you just mentioned infomercials, and then the question of the infomercials. What does it take for somebody to be able to connect with the viewership, right? That make them to buy. I mean, how do you?
So that is a course
What's the secret
on 4% called How Forbes Riley Gets You to Connect with the I don't have time to do that. I will tell you. And there is a secret.
Yeah.
This is what I understand. I don't do windows. I don't cook very well. I can't sew at all. But I can look in that camera and I can make you take action. I'll give you one nugget.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to right now?
A person. A single individual.
Bam. You probably guessed wrong. You got it, and I knew that you knew it, and there's a couple of people in your world who get it, and those are the ones that are crushing it. Everyone always says to me, we're talking to the audience. Hey, I'm talking to the audience right here, and see, I'm not looking at you, and there's the audience. You never talk to the audience. There's always one person, there's one set of ears. And when I teach this, I teach it as though you're playing tennis. Because you're always trying to make points and close things. I don't sell, by the way, I call it pitching. You know what a pitch is? Pitch is a once.
Yeah,
well,
you intrigue him. You intrigue him to want to learn more, to know more.
Yes and no. Okay, I'll challenge that. Because I don't want you to learn more. I can't make money off of learning more. I don't know what more is. It's not, here's what I think pitch is. Because all those things are correct. But I think a pitch is a one-sided conversation solely designed to get a yes. Now, the yes doesn't have to be an actual thing.
Right. So pitching and closing, or pitching and selling, is totally different thing.
First of all, if you're going to sell somebody,
Yeah.
you kind of encroach on their space.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you want it.
Right,
How do
right,
I do that? Well, this is what we teach. Number one, put out the problem. You don't know, do you want this right now? If I said, here's this. You go,
No.
It's a hunk of metal. What do you want?
Yeah.
But now if I say, do you like having a fit, sexy body?
Yeah.
Does your wife really appreciate that? Of
course.
Yeah, really. And how hard does it take to get that?
Well, it's usually you got to work.
Yeah, you got to work. You have a time to work? No, you go to work. So now you got to work out. That sucks, doesn't it? Do you find that the gym is a horrible place to be? It's got smelly. If I could never go to the gym and be fit, would that be amazing to you?
Right. So you basically you
You wanna come study with me,
you're
yes.
talking their language. You're talking what they're thinking.
Yeah.
You're just voicing. You basically you explain their issue and their problem and what they're thinking, but you just made it clear to them.
Set the stage.
Right.
And it's called features and benefits.
Yeah.
I could tell you that this has 3 rings and a string, and you would go, who cares? But if I told you that in just 2 or 3 minutes a day, when you activate this because it spins, take a look at my muscle right here. See how that arm moves? Every time I do this, I move every single muscle. Because of this, which fits in my pocket and is fun to do, unlike a dumbbell, I can get my entire workout in 5 minutes.
Well, you break a sweat with that one, like what, 30 seconds to a minute.
Oh, look what he's doing. Well, it does work. It helps if the product does actually work.
Right, and I'm a pretty fit guy. I mean, I do P90X. I'm okay. I mean, I
Right,
can.
but if you watch this on TV,
Yeah.
so now there's another thing, and I teach this too about what a magical transformation is.
So it's not about the thing; it's what the thing can do. It's the result that people are looking for, right?
Who cares
that
about
they can get
who cares
through
about
the
4%?
thing.
Do you care about making more money in your sleep?
Right.
And that's what you do. If you understand the benefit of it,
Right.
if you understand why do you want, and then if you have an emotional hook, I could sit and say, want to make more money? Join 4%. Or I could say, hey, you know what? You've got kids, and you haven't taken a vacation in a while. Yeah, you know why? You're probably in a job that you don't love. Your wife's a little disappointed, and your kids are going, wait, Dad, I've only got 18 years with you, and then I'm gone. We're never going to get that vacation because you don't have an extra $10,000 in the bank. Guys, if somebody could come along and, now I'm here.
It's totally different.
Paint the picture, be emotional, get what they want. People want a lot of things, they don't necessarily know that. So it's your job to intrigue them and excite them, enroll them. And then, by the way, and this is why I'm still here after all of these years, deliver more than they expect. Over-deliver, under-promise, and you have got people for life. That's why the FCC and all these companies come down going, you can be $10,000 a month and it doesn't have to, you don't have to get out of bed for it. Well, baloney.
Shallow.
You can't don't do that. Don't do that to people. I personally am taking a stand right now. I love what you do. Is it totally easy? No. You have to invest some time? Yes, of course you do. But there's such a payout at the end. Yeah. And you're still here. You're not a guy, I think you're going to be here for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I told our 4% group members you're watching this. I said this clearly. I said I don't want to do anything else. This is my last rodeo. I've been doing this for 13 years. Promoted other people's products and companies and things like that. And there was something missing.
Which was?
Something was missing. I believe that what we're doing now is we're helping an individual break through on. People think they want money, right? Mm-hmm. But in many cases, that's not really the thing that they want. Because what's money? You want more money, $100. Okay, here you go. Extra $1,000. But if we can change an individual from within and help them transcend, right, and become better, become that 4%er in business, that's going to spill over to their finance. Now they can take more vacations. Now they can contribute more. Now they can invest in themselves. Now they can, start. You see what I'm saying? So we're changing the whole person without them even
4%?
without them even realizing what's happening to them. But at the end of the day, they're looking back and they're like, my goodness, how come I've come, right?
Well, but you know what? I'll challenge you a little bit. And one of the things that Vic did, which I'm very impressed with, and thank you, was to invite me to speak on your stage.
Yes.
And you also invited some of all my friends who were very impressive.
We have a conference coming up.
Yeah. So from Russell Brunson.
You'll be there. Russell Brunson will be there. Les Brown will be there. You know, there'll be some really powerful
You looked
players.
at Tony Horton, which I think is impressive.
Tony Horton will be there. Yep.
All my friends, by the way, which is amazing that I can call them my friends, which means I've contributed a lot to other people's lives. But I'm going to say, number one, only girl. Yeah. Okay. So here's what's missing for me is there's not a lot of female role models. But the thing too, when you talk about from the inside out, that is what I am doing. You're going to look for a tour that I'm doing called the I Am Enough Tour. Because I will tell you, you can make all the money in the world, and until you own and love who you are, I've seen billionaires who've committed suicide because it's not about that, and that's what we think it is. It's not even about it's not about anything. It's about letting go, embracing, contributing, and hearing. Remember I talked about being around those people? If you're in a, by the way, let me promote what you're doing. If you could be in a room with Les Brown or Bob Proctor, that's great. That is amazing. And Vic, wow, that's really cool. And Forbes Riley, that's even enormous. And Tony Horton. And then you layer on this nut job of a guy named Russell Brunson who's changing people's lives. Oh my God, that's the people I'm playing with, okay?
Right.
Wow. So if I can call them friends, and I'm just a kid from Long Island, you're a kid from the Ukraine, we're nothing special. We just decided that we're going to do it. We took action, and when we couldn't do it, this is the biggest thing I'll leave you with. This is the thing that kills you. 3 words. I don't know. How do you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Really? You have a 1-year-old?
Yeah.
Does the 1-year-old come prepackaged to speak a foreign language and walk and play the piano and do the internet? No. But if a little toddler goes, I don't know how to walk, I don't know how to do this, I don't want to, they'd never grow up. They'd never do it.
Right.
So they don't say I don't know, they just do it. Yeah. If you guys just stop, because what I don't know for me is this hallway and all the doors close. You don't need more resources, you need to be more resourceful.
Right.
And the other analogy that I love, do you like lobster?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do eat it.
But we know what a lobster is, right? Kind of thing with a hard shell on the outside. So, but now the shell doesn't grow. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
The shell doesn't grow. I know, this was crazy, right? So a little lobster, what has to happen is they grow on the inside. They're kind of soft, squishy, and that's the part you eat. They get big and big, and they get so darn uncomfortable in that shell that they actually back out of their shell, totally vulnerable to get eaten, crawl under a rock, and grow a new ectoskeleton.
Oh, wow.
All right, and that shell's left there. So and I actually have a shell of a 100-pound lobster. That was like the big thing with my dad. It was crazy. But here's what's funny. If a lobster were a human being, it would never grow. Because when it gets so uncomfortable, it would take a Prozac. It'd go to the doctor.
That's right.
And I don't want to be on. So what you have to do as a little lobster, as a little human, as a little entrepreneur, you have to get so uncomfortable going, I don't know how to do this, and you take a new course.
Yeah.
You don't sit there going, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it, or give up. If the lobster gave up, they'd be 1-pound lobsters. There's 8, 10, 20-pound lobster. By the way, a 20-pound lobster is a 100-year-old lobster. Okay? Be uncomfortable, seek change, get support system, and pretend that nobody knows. I don't know how you do this. I don't really care to know. I just trust that if I keep moving forward.
Right.
Wow. Have you ever fallen off a cliff? There's no cliff. It's fine. You just keep going. Sometimes you scrape your knee. Yep. And then what? You keep going, you get better. You also have to understand.
Yep.
The other thing, too, is there's no end to this game. We don't get out alive. So if you have a bigger bank account when you die than I do, yay for you.
Right.
Are you happy doing this? You know, is this connection today, getting to know you, getting a look in your eyes? I'm so jazzed. See, he was a guy on my internet, on my computer, and he's now in my face. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
This is the day.
It's about loving the game. It's about loving what you do. Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's internet, whether it's whatever it is that you want to do, you know, it's enjoy the process, enjoy the game, be the best at what your craft. Decide. It's a decision.
And have fun. Jesus,
I mean,
you guys are so serious.
Look,
it's so annoying. Get up and go, I'm going to dance. I'm going to kind of wiggle. I'm going to dance. Just be nuts. I don't know. If you play by the rules, you're going to die by the rules, and you're boring.
I think, don't you think a lot of people take the entrepreneurship way too seriously?
That's why every company needs a kid. Right. A kid will put mud on their face. A kid will roll around and eat ice cream until they throw up. That's what kids do.
Yeah.
By the way, that is why we have all the issues, because we're so rigid during the day that we go out and we do drugs, we do drink, we kind of explode on ourselves because we don't play enough.
It's almost like we build this box around ourselves. Okay, this is how I should be, and it's like, and then you grow, and then you like, and you get uncomfortable. And you don't want to do. You know, I keep saying this thing in 4%. I said, yeah, you got to go through a short-term inconvenience to get to long-term comfort, right?
I like that. That's good. That's a lobster.
So yeah, similar concept, right?
Yeah, we call it the lobster theory.
And I mean, you went through it. I went through it. Everybody who's successful went through it.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who was like, just like, okay, here you go, you're going to be successful, and boom.
By the way, if you are, a year or two later, I've met those people. I dated one of the guys whose grandfather created, sorry, I won't say that, but to be terrible, created a city in this country that his name was the same last name as the city. And he used to drive around going, which Porsche should I buy now? I'm not sure. He had a huge trust fund, boring as all get out, and eventually killed himself. He had no reason to live.
There's no happiness, yeah, right.
Well, because, so if the struggle, by the way, this is also happens with kids. This is a really confusing thing. I didn't grow up with anything, right? So now what do I want to do? I want to give my kids all this stuff. Don't do that. Make your kids work for it.
See, you have, I mean, your daughter, I mean, could be like loaded, right? I mean, you could take the approach of like, okay, I'm just gonna give her anything she wants. She doesn't have to work. She's taken care of, right?
Right.
But here she is, you know, she's a hustler. She's a builder. She's, you know, she's working on funnels. She's working on a book. She's like in the game.
Because otherwise you're bored. We have friends, and she goes to a school that's a very rich school. Don't give your kids everything. That isn't the game of life. You don't feel like you earned it. You don't feel like it's yours. Nobody wants anything given to them, but they think they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to look, there was a mansion, and I do have to go, actually, I'm running late. There was a mansion in my hometown, and I remember thinking, man, it must be amazing to live there. Now, what's funny is, if now I know what I know, I don't know if those people were alcoholics or treated their kids nice, but I just saw this beautiful manicured lawn and a house with 2 giant chimneys, and I thought, one day I want to live there. And I kept that in the back of my head, because to me that represented something. Well, funny, how embarrassing is this? When I got to New York City, I became a social secretary, because I realized I didn't know things. Like my mom, we had like plastic on the couch in our house, and we, you know, it was kind of lower income. And when I got to the Graces, I'm in the car with Mrs. Grace, and she said, you need to go get Louis Vuitton out of the trunk. And I said, who's in the trunk?
Is there a human in the trunk?
Louis Vuitton, I don't know. And she looked at me and she said, you'll learn. And I did, because it was important to me.
Yeah.
But what I learned was a lot of things I also didn't want to be. I didn't want to be shallow and superficial. I will never pay $1,000 for a handbag. I just won't. That $800, and by the way, it used to be my mom would buy one $10 t-shirt and you could have 10 of them. She would never buy a $10 t-shirt. Then I got to a point where I could buy a $100 t-shirt and don't think about it. But I stopped. I said, you know what? There's no pair of shoes, and somebody did a thing, I have a whole lot of shoes. There's no pair of shoes or handbag that's ever worth more than $100 or $200. I walked a whole group of people in like Neiman Marcus, and there was this sandal for $1,200, and I said, don't you ever, ever do that.
That's interesting.
You take that $1,000 or maybe $200 and you give it to a kid. You give it to 10, you change some, but don't do that. That is stupid. You bought into some label, some bullshit. You don't need the Rolls Royce. You don't. You can have it if you want it, yay for you. You know what you do when you drive around a Rolls Royce? You look like a victim. You're like, I have to show you how much money I have. If you really had money, you'd be in a...
I never heard that one before.
Because you do. I bet it's, ostentatious is all get out. I just think it looks terrible. Maybe, I don't know. And they're beautiful, but I would never, ever. Now you're going to go give me one going, Forbes, you want one?
Hey,
no, I don't.
Forbes, you're talking to entrepreneurs now.
Well, because here's the thing.
People who are aspiring to drive Rolls Royces.
Shame on you. Shame on you. I'll tell you what. Because a Rolls Royce, $200,000, could you take that, could you go to Guatemala with me and build a bottle school for a kid and watch 50 lives change? What is your why? If you want to be the biggest, is it a kind of a male thing to show your whatever, or the biggest on the block? That's your Rolls Royce, yay for you. Oh. Shame on you.
Yeah. What are the top 3 things that are important to you?
Getting my message out. Being healthy. I've lost my health a couple of times this year, last couple of years. I got very stressed over some emotional issues, over digesting problems of other people, and ended up with a kidney stone that went septic and lying on a table with no blood pressure, and a whole bunch of people around me going, she's got no blood pressure, and in the back of my head I'm thinking, oh, I went through pregnancy with twins, I had a low blood pressure. They're like, when I came out of it 10 days later, they're like, you had no blood pressure. There's no guarantee. You get septic, you die. Got it? And it took me a long time to understand that that was possible. And then since then, because of that, then I had a stomach issue because of all the antibiotics I was on. And next year I was in the hospital again, and they diagnosed me with stomach cancer. Wow. That was over Christmas. I'm like, at that moment, the Rolls Royce doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Nothing. And I had this moment of going, well, that's too bad. I didn't expect the ride to end so short. Shit. Okay, so how close do you want to hold your kids? What do you want to do if you knew that you were going to be gone in 3 months?
Priorities change.
Everything changes. Wow. And I took a breath and I said, all right, 2 things are happening. If you don't respect your health, God will take it away from you and you're just not here. So then what are you doing here? And I shifted from being this actress who just wanted to be beautiful and cared all about me to going, how much could I contribute to other people? And I started this crazy crusade about how many people could I help. I'm not even keeping score about that. I had people in the studio yesterday and I changed their lives. I know I mean, I had the most profound effect. And it's not, oh yay is me. I affected somebody else's life. Go on Facebook and check it out. So now it matters. So that health thing, don't take it for granted. And so that goes back to, yeah, don't have a big belly, don't have flabby arms, don't keep saying you hate your body because God will take it away from you. I had a woman, and I taught a whole course on this. I taught a mental weight loss course.
That's critical, what you just said. Like, what you say has power.
Look in the mirror, and if you say, oh, I hate this, God will say, screw you, I'll take it away. And I had this. I had a woman say, I hate my thighs. I said, really? See the woman in the wheelchair? Your big, jiggly, cottage cheesy thighs? She wishes she would kill for those because yours work and hers don't. And don't you ever dare say that again.
Right.
Because if your brain hears all this, guess what? Then you don't have to be here.
Right.
So while we're all stressing and this person's making more and that funnel is bigger in it, take a moment. Breathe. Go. Take your clothes off. I redefine the word sexy. Sexy is seeing excellence in yourself. Take your clothes off, look in the mirror and go, see that little stretch mark I have here?
Yeah.
That's my baby's.
Right.
It's not perfect. Screw it. It's my kids. And if I want it to be better, I could eat a little different or work out a little bit more or just say, I love you. I have women, they can't do that. They can't put their hand on their body and say, I love you. Well, then what are you doing with everything else that's going on? So, number one is, so it's your health. What was the question? How many was
the top 3 things that are important to you.
So that
Health, contribution. I heard contribution is important.
Yeah, I'm going to put my kids on top of this. Yeah. By the way, I took a course, and it talked about your values. And I did this exercise prior to today. And you know what it was? It was fame. I wanted to make it. Health was number 11.
Well, fame, you got it.
It doesn't matter. It's what I wanted.
Right.
And when I looked at this on a piece of paper, I looked at it and thought, Forbes Riley, are you kidding me? Health is number 11. And I stopped. And I said, you have to flip that. There is no more fame. And then this person in this course taught me about values. Get this. So I put kids. Kids was number 2. But the problem with valuing kids is that parents who work, if you feel guilty, you're not with your kids right now, right? So there's some level of guilt, or maybe not, I don't know.
Oh, there is.
Well, but that's
I
terrible.
mean, of course you want to be with your kiddos, you know.
Well, but do you? Or you'd be there. So at some point you're like, wait a second, how do I define that my kids love me? Check this out. Change the word in your value statement from and to or. Here's how you make yourself nuts as a mom especially. I'm a good mom if I wake up my kids and I make them lunch and I go to every baseball game and I talk to them and I tuck them in and guess what? You suck because you can't do it. Change
And then
the
you beat
word-
yourself over it.
But watch this. Change the word to or. So I'm a good mom if I look at my kid's picture on the cell phone, or I call them, or I make them lunch, or I just think, if you do one, in my psyche, I'm a good mom.
Right.
And then I take that home and I don't, and I did a thing with McKenna. I know this is a 5-hour interview here, but she had me on the phone once.
We got to rub this up.
I know, I was in a seminar. I had a lot to say. I need to be on tour. And she said, she's like, Mom, I'm like, oh, I know, baby, I miss you. We did this whole little hour. I can't wait to see you that we were doing. And I stopped and I said, you know, stop it. She said to me, do you still love me? And I said, and I was going to do this whole guilt thing. And I said, McKenna, did the sun come up today? She's like, yeah. I said, good. Every morning that the sun comes up, you know that your mom loves you.
Yeah.
I'm not guilty anymore. So
Yeah.
let's just leave it as health, kids, and contribution. And number 4 is hanging out with Vic because he makes me want to talk.
You're, we can literally be here for all day, Forbes, but I know we're limited for time. Appreciate your time. You know, you got great things going on over here. And you guys are watching this. There are some cool things coming to the 4% that will include Forbes Riley in it. So stay tuned for that. Aspiring entrepreneur, Forbes, this is the last question, okay? Somebody who is just like, my goodness, I so want to do it, but this is happening right here. I'm running into brick walls. What would you tell to that person who perhaps just got started, made the decision to become an entrepreneur today or yesterday?
Come see us. We're going to be live. If you can't figure it out on your own, we're here for you. We're going to do an event, and I will tell you, don't expect that you can do it on your own. Don't beat yourself up. Watch all the videotapes, do all the things. This man is very smart. He keeps telling you to watch the whole tape. Watch the whole tape. And if it's still kind of confusing, come see us. Come surround yourself with a group of people, because I'll tell you who's going to be at this event that we're going to do. whenever this is, because we'll do events for the next 50 years, or I don't know how long you're living. But in that room, there'll be somebody that you'll connect with. There'll be somebody that you can reach out to, that you can partner with, somebody who knows more. And I will tell you what, babies don't ride bicycles. I just made that up. I like that. Babies don't ride bicycles. They crawl.
That's a quote to go to your
Good?
Forbes
Yeah.
Riley quote book.
I love that. They have to crawl. They have to fall down.
Yeah.
They have to scrape their knee. They have to look really, give us a baby. Then they start to walk. Then they run. Then eventually they ride the bicycle. Don't expect that you can. Enjoy the process, because there is no end to the journey.
Love it. Forbes, appreciate you.
I love you. Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
Is it 4%? I am so late. She's going to kill me. I just couldn't leave.